Hi everybody and welcome. Today I want to speak about living in harmony with our true self. Really going deep into the rabbit hole and getting to know ourselves in the process. Because I believe that if you really want to live in harmony with yourself, you gotta know your inner self. You gotta know your spiritual side. You gotta know what your strengths and weaknesses are. And you gotta step right into that heart space in order for you to actually build and manifest and create the life that you desire. Now, living in harmony with the true self, for me the true self is actually my higher self. And what I'm realizing is the fact that my higher self actually speaks to me through my feelings. So the first advice, the first tip, if you really want to live in harmony with your true self, is get to actually balance your emotional body. Okay, get to balance your emotional body, get to balance your feelings, get to balance your emotions, and get to actually express them into the world. I believe that expression is super important. So if you really want to live in harmony with your true self, you gotta begin to actually express yourself. So the first tip is get to balance your emotional field, okay? Because the higher self speaks to us through our feelings. If we cannot control our feelings, then we are being controlled by our feelings. And that is not a good thing to experience, okay? Now the second tip is express yourself, okay? If you express yourself and if you express your talents and gifts based on knowing who you are, you will get to actually live in harmony with your true self, with your true authentic self. Now it's important to actually get to know yourself in the process, okay? Because if you don't know yourself, you cannot know anything in life, because everything that is happening in your life is actually happening in relationship with yourself, okay? It is happening in relationship with your heart space. It is happening in relationship with your perception. It is happening in relationship with who you are. So my suggestion is go deep within yourself and get to know who you really are. Get to know what your strengths are. Get to know what your weaknesses are. Get to know what your flaws are. And in essence, get to actually accept them all. Okay, because when you accept yourself unconditionally, you realize that self-love is actually a really powerful tool, okay? And when you accept yourself, you really release resistance, because you're not perfect. And me, myself, I'm not perfect either. And when I get to actually operate from imperfection and from the game of the inside out, I realize that I'm perfect in my imperfections, okay? So life is not perfect, and sometimes it actually brings us circumstances and events into our life that actually break us. It brings circumstances where we are actually failing. But what I'm realizing is the fact that we can always get to alchemize our experiences, okay? We have the power to alchemize our experiences. We have the power to really open our heart and start afresh, okay? Now, if you really want to live in harmony with your true self, I believe that you gotta actually begin to let go of the past. Because the past is the past, and some things have happened that were in your control, and some things have happened that were out of your control. And what I'm realizing is the fact that the moment that I let go and the moment that I actually begin to start afresh is the moment that I actually get to know myself in the process, and I get to actually live in harmony with my true self. So it's about really staying open to all kind of perspectives. It's about staying open to your true authentic self. And this is actually the third or the fourth advice is be authentic. Okay, be authentic. If you really want to live in harmony with your true self, you gotta be authentic. You gotta learn to say no sometimes. You gotta fight for love. You gotta be your own guru. You gotta be your own guidance. Okay, you gotta have your own vision. You gotta step into your unique side. Okay, this is really important because we're all unique. You know, we're all unique snowflakes in this universe. We all have our own soul signature. And when we respect that, we live in harmony with our true authentic self, okay? Now, what I'm realizing is the fact that I gotta be detached, okay? If I'm not detached, then I cannot live in harmony with my true self. Because, for example, we live in a society that constantly pushes us to actually not be our true authentic self. But when we begin to let go, and when we begin to even let go of our manifestations, we realize that happiness is found within. Okay, we realize that happiness is found within. And when we play the inside out game, we begin to actually create new circumstances in our lives. Okay, so my suggestion is play the inside out game where you express yourself from the inside out. not the outside in, because when you steal life from the outside in, now you become the victim of your own circumstances. So it's about really getting to step into the heart space and play the inside out game, because when you see life from the inside out, you realize that you are actually creating the life that you are experiencing. Okay, you are creating your reality with the thoughts, feelings and actions that you have. So it's about really going deep within the self and finding the secret there, because in ancient times they knew that the secret was within themselves, and when they really loved every single part of themselves, they realized that their consciousness could actually blossom to a new perspective, to a new state of consciousness. Okay, so your consciousness can actually open the moment that you actually look within yourself, because you may be attached to your manifestations. Okay, you may be attached to money, you may be attached to a certain person, but what I'm realizing is the fact that detachment actually creates magnetism. Okay, detachment creates magnetism, and when you become magnetic, you realize that it's not about chasing things, it's more likely about allowing things to come into your life. So it's about really finding that balance, it's about really going deeper into the rabbit hole and getting to actually be your true authentic self. So yes guys, if you really want to live in harmony with your true self, you gotta open your heart to the experience of life. I believe that we actually must allow ourselves to live a bit more, because what I've seen in myself was the fact that I was stagnating for so long, and I still have moments where I'm feeling lazy. Maybe I still have moments where I'm stagnating. I still have moments where I'm still questioning who I am deeply, you know. But I realized that life is about being fulfilled, and life is about being lived, you know, because if you don't live, you actually stagnate. And when you live in reverse, you actually become evil, because live spelled reversely is evil. So my suggestion is, if you really want to be in harmony with your true self, you gotta allow yourself to live, you gotta allow yourself to create, you gotta allow yourself to love, okay, you gotta allow yourself to laugh, okay. So my suggestion is, don't take things so seriously and really just jump into the game and see what happens. Jump into the game and see what happens. Jump into your heart space and see what happens. It's not that serious. Even failure is not that serious. Even your pain may not be that serious. You know, even your failure, even your loss may not be that serious. So yes, these are my tools on how to live in harmony with your true authentic self. It's about staying authentic, it's about opening the heart, it's about going within, listening to your feelings, expressing yourself, allowing yourself to live more, okay? These are all tools that you can actually use if you really want to be in harmony with your true self. And my suggestion is, to as much as possible, to actually listen to the guidance that is coming from your heart, okay? Listen to the guidance that is coming from your heart, because that is a message from your higher self. Your higher self speaks to you through your feelings. If you listen to what you feel, it feels good. If you cannot listen to what you feel, you are in resistance. And when you are in resistance, you actually create split energy from your non-physical self and your physical self, okay? So it's about really going deeper into the higher self, you know, because the higher self speaks to us through our feelings. And when we listen, it feels good. The higher self is actually a non-physical energy that is coming from a multidimensional state of consciousness, and that higher self speaks to us through our feelings. So my suggestion is, get better at feeling. You don't necessarily have to chase good feelings, but what you have to do, you have to actually get better at feeling. Realize that you have free will, and your higher self wouldn't break your free will. And realize that you are meant to actually create a beautiful and amazing life. Guys, this is today's message on how to live in harmony with your true self. Thank you for watching, and yes, these are my tips on how to be in that state that fits you best. I believe that we all deserve to be happy. You know, we all deserve to be happy. We all deserve to be in our best state of consciousness. Guys, thanks so much for watching, and like always, see you on what is coming up next. If you are new to the channel, feel free to subscribe, leave a comment, and if you wish to work with me, and if you want to really get to know your true authentic source self, feel free to send me a message. And if you wish to be part of my spiritual podcast called Consciously Awakening, also feel free to send me a message. It's about alchemizing things. You are God, you are the universe itself. I love you so much, much peace, and see ya. Bye bye.